MJF has revealed his future in Hollywood, and two suspended AEW stars have resurfaced. But first, a title match has been added to AEW Dynamite. Tonight, AEW will hold the next episode of Dynamite from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, the home of ECW. The show will see multiple matches with title implications, with one more big match being added to the card. Last night on Twitter, AEW President Tony Khan would reveal that the interim AEW Women's World title will be on the line, with Serena Deeb taking on the champion Toni Storm. The match comes about after Storm pinned Britt Baker to retain her belt at Dynamite Grand Slam, whilst Deeb would pin the champion 2 weeks ago in a tag team match. This won't be the only title match on the card, however, with Ring of Honor World Champion Chris Jericho set to put his belt on the line against a former champion in Bandido, who is set to make his AEW debut. As well as this, AEW World Champion Jon Moxley will take on New Japan Pro Wrestling's Juice Robinson, and were Juice to win the match, he will earn himself a shot at the title at some point in the future. As well as the announced matches, we will also hear from Saraya for the first time since her AEW debut last week, and the Salt of the Earth MJF addresses his devil worshippers in the home of Extreme. And speaking of title matches, the next NXT Championship match has been revealed. 2 weeks ago, JD McDonough would defeat Tyler Bate to become the #1 contender for the NXT Championship, with him set to battle Bron Breakker at Halloween Havoc on October 22nd. The post-match scenes would see Ilya Dragunov return from injury to stare down both the champion and the challenger, inserting himself into the main event picture of the black and gold brand. Well, on last night's episode of NXT, it was confirmed that the main event of Havoc will now be a triple threat match for the title, with Breakker using Steiner math to weigh up his odds of leaving as champion, stating that he's okay with having a 33 and a third chance of walking away as the winner, reminiscent of his uncle Scott Steiner's infamous promo in TNA. This remains the only complete match announced for the October 22nd card, with it currently joined by the ladder match for the vacant NXT North American title, with Carmelo Hayes, Oro Mensah, and Wes Lee fighting out with two other names yet to be confirmed for the belt. Whilst Wes did have a spot in the match by default due to him being the #1 contender, last night he would insist on earning his spot once again, defeating Tony D'Angelo to solidify his place at Halloween Havoc. And next, top stars are set to miss tonight's AEW Dynamite. Parts of the east coast of the United States are currently caught in the eye of a Category 4 storm, with Hurricane Ian hitting Florida today, with some areas having already suffered from heavy damage. Millions of people have already evacuated the western side of the Sunshine State, and it seems that the storm will have an impact on tonight's episode of AEW Dynamite. According to Grapsody's Will Washington, prominent AEW talents will miss tonight's show in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, where a live Dynamite and pre-taped Rampage will take place, and he would take to Twitter to say, "A few prominent performers who reside in Florida won't be at Dynamite/Rampage today, just hoping everyone stays safe out there." It's unknown which names will miss the event as of this recording, but more should become clear in the coming hours and come showtime. As for one affected wrestler, FTR's Cash Wheeler would take to Twitter today to address his situation, and whilst it's unknown if he was planned to be in attendance at the AEW taping, we now know that he will instead be in the UK, with him flying early to make sure that he's there ready for London's New Japan Pro Wrestling Royal Quest shows on October 1st and 2nd, and he would write, "London, don't say I don't love you. Hurricane Ian is heading right for my area. I made the decision last night around 11 PM to move my flight from Thursday to today. I've spent every minute since stress packing and preparing the house for the storm. I couldn't miss this one." As for the storm, hopefully everyone out there in Florida can stay safe. And as for Dynamite, Tony Khan has told talent that they do not have to be at tonight's tapings due to the hurricane, so we'll see how this affects the show in the coming hours. And next up, there are some major changes coming to WWE. Over recent weeks, rumors have emerged that brand new title belts are coming to WWE as Triple H continues to shape the company in his own image. It had previously been reported by Belt Fan Dan on Twitter that new designs for both the men's and women's tag team titles are currently being worked on, with him tweeting the following. New WWE tag belts are described to me as being the existing design, dual-plated black straps and having a stacked, large WWE logo in the center. They also have the old, never-used tags, which are women's tag style on colored straps. Women's belts getting colored backing soon. On top of this, we now have an update from Fightful Select, who have more details on when the plans were put in place, as well as potential changes to the presentation of both Raw, SmackDown, and NXT in the near future, and they would report. Those that we've spoken to say there were already plans in motion to utilize some new designs before the huge WWE regime change. However, Triple H hasn't exactly been shy about changing things, and we're told that has largely accelerated some things. We've heard that additional cosmetic changes to things across Raw, SmackDown, and NXT could also be on the horizon. We've already seen logo changes on NXT. Of course, NXT would introduce a new logo several weeks ago with a mix of the colourful NXT 2.0 and the old black and gold NXT logo now in play, although as of last night the arena still remains full of bright colours. Perhaps this could be set to change in the coming weeks, as well as changes to the main roster shows. But what changes do you want to see to Raw and SmackDown? Do they need a new logo? And could we perhaps see the return of the giant fist for the blue brand? Let me know what you think in the comments down below. And next, MJF has discussed his future in Hollywood. During his recent break prior to his big return at AEW All Out, it was reported that MJF had held several meetings in Los Angeles, California ahead of a potential move into the world of acting. This week, appearing on the KFC radio podcast, Max would confirm his future plans, with him set to return to Los Angeles after this week's episode of AEW Dynamite to hold more talks, humbly putting himself over in the process. And he would say, "I see myself acting. I see myself doing what John Cena, Batista, and The Rock did. There are definitely a lot of feelers out there. I'll actually be heading out to Los Angeles literally after Dynamite for a lot of meetings. There are definitely a lot of people interested in MJF. When I walk into a room, when you listen to me talk, it's pretty obvious that I have something that we call in the industry it. You either got it or you don't have it. I feel a person in my industry hasn't had the amount of droves of it that I've had since Cena, Rock, and Batista." The discussion would then turn to his future in wrestling, with the possibility of starting up his own company being raised once he becomes a free agent in January 2024, with him noting, "I do genuinely think that I'm a prodigy, and I say that humbly, and that there is probably no one in the wrestling world that knows more and has a better wrestling IQ than me." Of course, I thought about it. If there was financial backing, if someone said, "Hey, MJF, you'll be the face of my company and you make the decisions. You make the calls. You decide who gets to go in the ring and who doesn't go in the ring. The most important thing to me is money. And if I can make an absurd amount of money without having to be stressed out of my effing mind, the only person you should be worried about is yourself." MJF would then explain that he wouldn't want the job of a Tony Khan or a Triple H because he wouldn't want to deal with the BS that comes with that job, perhaps learning from the mistakes of his former best friend, the roller coaster Cody Rhodes. And he would add, "I never want to have Tony Khan's job. I never want to have Triple H's job. The amount of bullshit you have to go through, the only thing I want to worry about is me. If that means I get a difference in pay, but I'm getting paid just to be me and show up to work once a week, come on." MJF would once again state that it doesn't matter where it is, but he will go wherever the money is highest, whether it be AEW, WWE, or Impact, or even a new promotion once his contract expires in 2024. As for his immediate future, MJF is the current casino ladder match chip holder and can get a shot at Jon Moxley's AEW World Championship whenever he wants, with all eyes on him in the coming months. But if MJF were to go into Hollywood, how do you see him getting on? Let me know in the comments down below. And finally, two suspended AEW stars have resurfaced. It's been 3 weeks since the backstage altercation at the All Out pay-per-view that rocked All Elite Wrestling, with Kenny Omega, the Young Bucks, CM Punk, and Ace Steel involved in a very real backstage fight that led to everyone involved being suspended from the company. On top of this, Omega and the Bucks would be stripped of their AEW Trios Championship belts, whilst the injured CM Punk was stripped of his AEW World title, something that was expected due to him suffering from an injury during his match with Jon Moxley. Since then, they haven't been seen on television, with their futures in the promotion currently up in the air. Well, in the past couple of days, two of the suspended names have now resurfaced for the first time since the incident. Firstly, with the oldest of the Young Bucks brothers, Matt Jackson, taking to Instagram to promote their soon-to-be-released custom sneakers, with him ending by saying he'll see the fans very soon. And he would say, "Thank you so much, guys, for everything. For the last 18 years, you guys have supported us and been so great to us, and I really can't wait to see you guys very soon." On top of this, the first image of CM Punk has emerged since the incident, with him spotted with a fan, likely in his hometown of Chicago, with Punk being seen wearing a large brace on his left arm, although he does seem to be in good spirits with a smile on his face despite the ongoing drama. Reports following the incident noted that Punk immediately underwent surgery to begin the recovery process as soon as possible, with him set to be out of in-ring action for several months if he even returns at all. Now, of the main core of individuals involved, we've seen 3 of them since, with Kenny Omega being spotted in Japan 2 weeks ago for a gaming convention, as well as spending time with his former tag team partner Kota Ibushi. And before you go, make sure you check out the 12 most obscure WWE appearances from AEW wrestlers.